What's up, guys? So in today's live video, I thought I would do things a little bit differently, and I wanted to kind of talk about, questioning everything and our role as people and kind of what we're supposed to be doing when it comes to our personal responsibility and questioning what's happening on a daily, life for us. So I think just to start out, I wanted to say, as people, what do I think our responsibility is? Well, I think that because we live in the United States and we have a government that's for the people, then we as people really need to be questioning what's happening and making sure that we're doing our due diligence to monitor the situation. And by that, I mean, not necessarily being involved in elected politics in any way. That's not what I'm talking about. It's really questioning what's going on, you guys. It's questioning, is this right? Like, we were just born into a society that's already doing things and been doing things for a long time. So just because we're born into it, I don't think that we automatically just get to like free ride through it. I think we should question and make sure things are doing, going the right way and doing things right. I hear all the time. So I'm a lawyer by day. I may be an herbalist by night, and I own Grand Fam Farm and do different stuff like that. But by day, one of the things that I see all the time in my profession is, well, we've been doing it like this forever. We've always done it like this. It's always happened this way. Well, that right there is one of the most stagnant things that stagnates growth the most, is just saying, let's do it just because it's always been done this way. That's not the way I like to do it. So we shouldn't always do things just because they've been done that way. And especially for the younger generation, as we're coming up into this already preset, pre-made world and environment that we're in, especially the United States, we really need to be asserting ourselves and starting to question the narrative of everything that's going on. Let's question, what the heck, why is it being done this way? Because I think that our parents and our grandparents were talked into doing some things that may not have been in our best interest, but they didn't do it out of just like spite or because they were stupid or anything. It was just purely out of ignorance. And I think that we've been led to believe certain things. And a lot of people, just in any sort of society, as you've had rulers for a long period of time, you're led to believe and do certain things just because it comes normal for you and normal for everyone around you. So just because it's becoming normal doesn't mean it's something that we should continue in any way or keep going. And so that's why I always like to encourage people. I encourage clients to do this all the time when they're talking about their health, and just all the natural changes they're making. I always encourage them to just question what you're being told. Find multiple sources, you guys. Don't just do one thing from one specific source. Look at multiple sources. We get in kind of this tunnel vision by just looking at one or two different sources, and that's really not what we should be doing. We should be experimenting. We should be broadening our mind and expanding and figuring out what works for us. And it's going to be a community effort. It's not just going to be one person leading the way. It should never be just one person leading the way and let's all blindly follow. I think we have a lot of blind followers, I'm not meaning on a social media aspect. I'm just meaning on, going with the flow kind of followers. And I don't think that's what we need right now. I think what we need right now is people with ideas and people that have solutions to problems, right? Like someone that has a good idea on how to fix something. We should all be kind of more open-minded and in a brainstorm mode right now, rather than just this like, let's choose a side mode. I think the sides, and I'm not going political at all, but I think the sides that have been chosen are these preset limitations that I'm not a big fan of. I think that we should choose our own path and start forging our own way and really, coming into something that works for the majority of us. I say this a lot in my lives, especially when I'm doing like handmade herbal remedy sessions or showing people how to make, their own handmade herbal remedies, or when I'm talking to clients and doing those sorts of lives. I'm always telling people, what works for you? What do you think works for you? What do you feel good about, and trying to empower people to make their own decisions and choose what's best for them in their lifestyle. We as a people give up a lot of our free will just because, just because we're told to do things in a certain way. And I am not a big fan of that. I think critical thinking is one of the skills that we're losing. In the younger generation, we're really losing critical thinking skills. And it's because, like a lot of different things, but one of the main things I've seen is in just like the schooling system. You're given, choice A or choice B. It's kind of like, these are your two choices, figure it out. You've got to get to one of those choices. Well, what if my reasonable, logical thinking gets me to choice C? That's not really explored a lot in our standard curriculum. And so I like to really bring that into the herbal side and really help clients to understand, like, look, maybe it's not always just choice A and B, maybe there is a C. I try to do that as a lawyer all the time. I'm always trying to think of clients like, okay, where are we trying to get to? And I know we have A and B, but is there this other third option that's kind of hanging out there? And as you start to question things and as you start to look more into some of these alternative solutions, you're going to find that it's not always just A and B. There's a lot of other C routes available for people that offer them a lot more freedom and a lot more personal accountability and personal choices. And to do that, you've got to be responsible, right? One of the first things you're going to start to see as you start to wake up, as I call it, or wake up from this state that we're in and start to kind of question things, is personal accountability. It's going to be huge, guys. Personal accountability is something you don't like to face, but it's huge when it comes to taking ownership and taking the next step. Someone just had a comment here. It can be more tricky with social media. I feel like books are a good way to start. Not always. Yeah, thank you, Sadie. I really appreciate that. Social media is definitely tricky, right, guys? I mean, we're all in our own bubbles, right? When you put something into social media, anything you search, it's automatically going to limit the results that you receive. And so right away, they're kind of meandering us down this path that we don't get to choose right away. So social media can be a great tool, and I think anything that's fear-based, don't listen to that, but because social media can be a great tool that we can use to find the information that we need right now, and I think we should all take advantage of the social media tool that we have. Books are also fantastic, but I think a lot of the kiddos, I say kiddos, I'm 35, and I feel like this younger generation, they're more kind of like fishbowl-y, snap in and out of concepts like really quickly. And so they want just this blur really fast. And so I think social media is a good way to do that if you can get that message across to them. But it also gives them a lot of misinformation and allows misinformation to spread very easily, because you've got the people that are, working against us, giving information that may not be suitable for most of us, or may not be suitable for the truth, but it is suitable for more of a controlled society, if that makes sense in a way. The reality of the situation is, guys, we're not as free as we think we are. Anyone in this sort of environment and in the US or any big country should realize that our freedoms are limited by the social contract that we entered into in our government. And so we really need to be keeping our government accountable. And by doing that, or in order to keep them accountable, we've really got to start looking at what we're doing on a day-to-day basis, you guys. Like, what the heck we're doing on a day-to-day basis. And healthcare is only one part of it. That's just one tiny little facet. But the decisions that we make every single day, the norms that we go through, waking up and drinking coffee every morning, we gotta think, and we gotta look back at history. Every government has eventually gotten selfish and done things to its people that haven't been very good. So if you look back at history, that's something that's always happened. It's not like a conspiracy thing or anything like that. It's just a complete fact. So since we know that's a fact, and we know that every government has kind of overstepped its ability to govern by taking advantage of its people, then we need to get ahead of that curve and make sure that us, as informed, smart citizens who the government is supposed to be working for, we are questioning everything. We're questioning everything. And that starts from the top, you guys. Let's just use a basic one about like our eating habits. Yeah, remember that food pyramid and the food triangle and all that? And you should eat 3 square meals a day, or maybe even 6 square meals a day. No. I'm an herbalist. Oh, that's wrong. You shouldn't be eating that much. Your body doesn't need to be working on processing food the whole day away. It's just not allowing your body to do some higher functioning that your body has. Your body has lots of higher functions that go beyond just digesting food and the food digestion process. And if you will allow your body to stop for a second and take a break from digesting food, then it can do some other really, really cool cleaner mode stuff. And cleaner mode stuff gets you into a brand new reality, guys. It can really shift your vibration up. And when it comes to like shifting vibration, I know that's kind of a weird, hooky sounded thing, but you know what? It's really advanced science, you guys. Just look into the science of today, because they're not pumping out these new scientific ideas for us. But the new science is telling us that vibration's a real thing. And to get into the advanced state of vibration, there's certain steps we can do. And these bodies we've got, they're like super advanced machines. They're way more advanced than we ever thought. And if we allow them to do different things beyond just processing our food all day, because we keep shoving food down our throat, holy cow, these machines are incredible. Absolutely incredible. And some of the mainstream things that they've had us do are stifling the true tool that we have with our bodies. And so if we can do things more naturally, then we're going to see that this tool can be really primed and focused to work in how we want it to work. And a lot of that goes on to maybe more spiritual side, but maybe not. It's actually a scientific side that is a reality of life, you guys. And that starts with just like our thoughts. Our thoughts are the main process, the main thing that starts it. And it starts with like a self-confidence that's so different than any of us are told we should have. A self-confidence and a knowing that I trust myself, I can get it done. There's a higher thing working through me, universe, being, whatever it is. Confidence is where it starts. And so building that confidence always starts by building that questioning side, thinking, I'm owed an answer and I'm owed to know. I'm not owed to just listen and blindly listen to everybody. I want to know for myself. And knowing for yourself is a different kind of confidence than you have just by hearing it from someone else. Yeah, someone told me this. Well, yeah, that's one thing. People tell us a lot of stuff. That's why I always say, like, the more you know, the more you can become. It's not like the more you're told, the more you can become. It's totally different than that. It's the more you know. And knowledge and things that are true are unshakable, all right? And it's more than just, it's a faith of knowing, which is different from the religious aspect of it. It's a knowing certainty. And so it's pretty cool. Once you can get that, you have a lot more self-esteem than others, and you're able to ask these questions and kind of like rely on your intuitive understanding to get it done. So it's pretty cool stuff. All right, I've got a lot of messages, so let me go and start reading some of the messages. Thank you so much for everyone who's joining. I really appreciate it. What are we doing on a Saturday, right? I figured let's learn the truth and talk about knowledge and talk about just our role in questioning everything. And the more we question, the more we can find the truth for everybody and expand in a way that is better for all of us, more universal to all of us, and less detrimental to all of us. Because that's the expansion we're getting right now, is that some are losing and others are winning. And the reality of the situation is we can all win together at the same time. We just need to figure out how to do it. So that's the goal of this, is to figure out, how we can all win at the same time and how we can all find, a better idea of life and what that means. Okay, so I've got a question from Rosa Love. What do your meals look like? So meals in general, I try to go on a plant-based diet. So let's talk about the timing of meals. Intermittent fasting is one of my favorite things to do. I think that we all actually should eat in an intermittent fasting kind of environment. What that means is going for periods of time without snacking, without foods. I think that that is super a requirement for our body, super good for your body, and definitely a requirement. Why? Like I said before, it allows your body to go into cleaner mode, which doctors call sleeper mode. I think that medical doctors today are interesting in what they don't understand about the body. Instead of going in and doing more research on it, they kind of just like push it aside and are like, unknown, let's call this sleeper mode. All right. Well, in sleeper mode, Ayurvedic medicine has told us that during sleeper mode, your white blood cells go in and your cells, and they rejuvenate all the cells and they clean everything. And they're doing a lot more than just sleeping. Sleeping's actually the last thing they're doing. So I find that kind of strange to call it sleeper mode and disregard it. But you're not sleeping in sleeper mode. You're actually cleaning, and your body gets rejuvenated. They redo all sorts of cells. It's a really, really important time for us to be in, and we can't be there if we've got food in our belly. Because as soon as we have food in our systems, our bodies go in and they're like, we've got to clean out the food. We've got to digest it. We've got to get it out of here. We've got to put the minerals where they go and the vitamins where they go. Well, when that process gets over, if for those of us that actually stop eating for a certain period of time to allow our body to go in that next rejuvenation, we become younger. We become looking younger. We look healthier. Our skin looks younger. Our skin looks healthier. Our organs all get cleaned out. Our liver goes through a cleaning period. These are all things that we're allowing our body to do just naturally, that our body does on its own. We don't have to make it or assist it in any way. The assistance that we provide it is stop shoving food down your throat for a few hours and give your body some time to clean itself out. Now look, guys, I know that sounds harsh, and I don't mean for it to sound harsh, but sometimes like some of the biggest wake-up calls we get are in a harsh way to kind of like shake us awake. I think it's necessary right now, you guys. They want us to just keep this comatose, lackadaisical, shove food down our throat, shove fluoride down our throat, make it so that we can't think properly. They want that for us. Why do you think they want that for us? I've got my own reasons why. I got to be careful on TikTok because they can shut you off on live for going into this too much, but I do think it's kind of strange. The last time fluoride was used, and if you guys look this up on a mass scale, Nazi Germany Jewish concentration camps. Yeah, that was the last time it was used on a mass scale other than in the United States, putting into our water. And there's lots of studies they did in Harvard and where they put it into their water and what it does to the system. It attacks the brain, you guys. It attacks our brain. They used it Nazi Germany Jewish concentration camps because they wanted a more lackadaisical group of people they could control. So if you're a ruler and you're ruling people, which is a lot of governments in the world, it'd be really highly advantageous, I guess, for you to put this in your water, because then you'd get a really easy ruling class of people that you could easily rule over and just do things, and they didn't care because they're all kind of like hanging out, watching TV and doing their sports and so busy with life. You know, busyness is one of those things they use, keeping us busy, always like keeping us on the go and going. It's a tactic that they use to make it so we can't think, okay? It makes it so we don't have free time to think, because what are we going to do when we think? We're going to get ideas. What do you do when people get ideas? Change. Things start to happen. Change starts to happen, you guys. They don't want us to get ideas like that, right? We just need to look at their A-B option and choose between those. Ideas are what drive us forward, okay? We all know this. We've heard it a million times, but yet we're in the lackadaisical don't think anymore. We kind of stop thinking on our own. We just listen to everybody else, and now we're just going to kind of roll into this. Let's start thinking again. Let's start thinking again. It's really, really important. And those of us that start questioning things, they say things like, oh, that term conspiracy, or like trigger terms they like to throw out there. Trigger terms such as like terrorist, conspiracy. Those are created so that our mind instantly starts thinking in a different way as soon as we hear it, okay? It's actually a CIA tactic that they used, and that's where that came from. But as soon as they throw out those trigger terms, you guys, you actually start thinking in a different brain pattern of thought. I don't want it to sound like so weird to where you're like, oh my gosh, but it is what it is. It's what's going on, you guys. So as soon as they throw those out, it's an easy like disregard. And that's why you get people who get really mad when they hear about the truth or hear about something that's like totally weird to them. They instantly like disregard it. It's a trigger thing they did. It's a reactive, they create a lot of things, so we react in certain ways, and so that's kind of what's happening there. And so that's why when you're trying to wake people up or tell them really cool things like this that would really, really help them, they get really, really mad. I'm like super defensive. It's just one of the first steps of a brainwash technique that's happening and been happening for a long time. And if you look into like brainwashing techniques from people that have done it for a really long time, like CIA, FBI, people that know what's going on, they'll tell you those are the sure signs of brainwash. So yeah, interesting. Sorry, you said, what do your meals look like? And that was my answer. So that kind of spun off on you. But yeah, that's what's going on there. That's why I think it's really important to give your body that time so that it can start to get to those higher levels and start to get to those thinking processes and thought processes that only happen when you're vibrating at such a high vibration. And that high vibration happens when your vessel, which is your body, your vessel is clean enough and pure enough to be able to vibrate that high. It's just a vibration thing, okay? So all the things that we kind of hear about in religion and stuff like, oh, you got to go with God, to be good and all that. Yes, it's a vibrational thing, okay? So we can look at vibration in very different ways, but it shouldn't dismiss anyone. It's all correct as we learn about vibration and what that means. So stick with me as we go through this, guys. Okay, so let me look and see if some of the other comments of people that have said things. How many meals do you eat? Great question, Melissa. Is that from Melissa? Oh, I'm sorry, that wasn't you. Someone asked me, how many meals do you eat? Lewis. Okay, so how many meals do you eat in a day? So fasting for me and fasting for everyone else, and intermittent fasting looks very different. First, I'm going to talk about intermittent fasting, and then I'd kind of like to hit on fasting in general and why we've done that throughout our lives and why you see that in lots of other religions, and we're told to fast, okay? So intermittent fasting, like I said, goes into that cleaner mode. Let's specifically talk about what I do for intermittent fasting. Now, I'm an herbalist, okay? I tell clients, when I'm working with clients and I'm recommending things to clients, I'm working on more of an Ayurvedic side. I look at some holistic medicine. I look at herbal medicine from the American tradition side of it and Native American tradition as well. But I like to combine it all into more of a holistic practice that works for me. Everyone's so different. So for me and what I recommend for clients, excuse me, is I recommend first starting off with skipping one meal a day. All right, so intermittent fasting and allowing your body to actually get in there and do its thing, start with skipping one meal a day. So I first say skip breakfast. Breakfast is not the most important meal of the day, you guys. Holy cow. If I hear that again about breakfast is the most important meal of the day, that's brainwash. No, it's not. Don't eat breakfast in the morning. Your body actually really needs that time and can use that time to continue its ketosis state, because overnight you didn't eat. And so in the morning, if you continue that ketosis state, holy cow, will your body be cleaned out, and you allow it to be cleaned out more, because your little cells are going in there and just really cleaning stuff out. So I always say start with skipping breakfast. Now what that means is, maybe around 12 o'clock noon, you're going to eat your normal stuff that you would normally eat. Like I said, I do recommend a plant-based diet, but that is not where you start. Baby steps is where you start, you guys. If you don't start with baby steps, you're never going to start. And that's something, subs and followers hear me say a lot. So start with baby steps. Start just with skipping one meal a day. I say breakfast is kind of the easiest. And then after you've skipped breakfast, you're going to do that for 2 weeks and see how you feel. Okay, you're going to get those normal cravings that happen just because your body's ready and turned on. I've talked about that in other live sessions before, but it doesn't mean you're hungry. If you get over that for like 15 minutes, your stomach will turn itself off and get right back on your new little schedule. Our bodies are super smart. So the first thing that I say is skip breakfast and then go from there. Now after 2 weeks, you've been skipping breakfast for 2 weeks, you're feeling good. The next thing I recommend is skipping lunch. Okay, so you skip 2 meals a day. And then after about 4 or 5 o'clock at night, then you can go back to eating again, eating normally, eat whatever you want for the rest of the night, eat however it makes you feel good to eat. Then you go to sleep, wake up in the morning, you skip breakfast and you skip lunch, and then you go back to eating whatever you want. This gets your body more like a cheetah. Think cheetah, guys. I always say this to clients. Think like you're a cheetah. You want to go get that one really, really big meal per day. Your stomach's huge and it's gorging, and then you allow yourself to process that, for a 20-hour period, and then you go back and do it all again. Now, this is completely different. I understand. Completely different than anything you've been told in the past, and I get that. I get that. A lot of you are probably saying to me, like looking at me and like, she's crazy. She's starving herself. That's called anorexia. Trigger term. Ding, 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 ding. Trigger term. Remember I told you those trigger terms they throw at you and they want you to just think a certain way after you hear it? Anorexia is one of them. They want you to think that if you don't eat your 3 square meals a day, you are anorexic and you are depriving your body of nutrients and vitamins and minerals. Well, yes, mainstream idea, that's what they want you to think. But actually, if you look into the science of it, that is so totally backwards. Eating too much food is actually super harmful for your body, and continually eating throughout the day does nothing but hurt you in the end. Okay, so look that up. Go down your own rabbit hole, you guys. I say this all the time. Go down your own rabbit hole and find out for yourself. The information's out there. We are in the age and era of technology. Go find the information and you will see that it's everywhere, everywhere. And another thing, once you start to hear these truths, they start to make sense. They make sense and you can't deny them. That's the difference between something they've told us, like a fact. All facts, you guys, aren't true, okay? There's truths and then there's facts. A lot of facts are just that, facts, created sets of facts. Really funny, when I violated TikTok's community guidelines, I will tell you that really quickly, that short story. Hopefully I don't get kicked off TikTok. So when I violated their community guidelines, I was talking about cloud seeding and weather control technology. I won't go into that, but what surprised me about that is my violation said, I violated TikTok's community guideline standards. It said, we choose to operate on a certain set of facts, and you violated them. That was strange. We choose to operate on a certain set of facts. That's what all social media kind of community guidelines say. You need to look into that. When you think about that from a realistic or like a reasonable side, you're like, wait a second, who made up these certain set of facts? What if I think this certain set of facts are completely wrong? Well, that made me think of that book. What is that movie, Smallfoot? You guys ever seen the movie Smallfoot with the Yetis and stuff like that? And those Yetis have those like stone tablets on one of their guys, and they're like, each stone, it's like all in his coat. The main ruler, he's got these stone tablets on him, right? Each stone means something important, and it's all truths. If you disobey one stone on the stone tablets, that means they're all wrong, and blah, blah, blah. That's what's happening here, guys. That's what's happening here. We've been given a set of stone tablets, a certain set of facts that we all agree on, facts. And if you violate the set of facts that we all agree on, you are a conspiracist and you will be violated from our city. See that movie, Smallfoot? That's what we're living on, people. All right, go watch that darn movie with your kiddos, okay? There's a lot of movies that they use like that, and you'll start to see that. They hide this thing in plain sight. They hide it in plain sight. So that way, when you start to question the norm, everyone who hasn't woken up yet, they're like, okay, weirdo, that was that movie. Did you just go see that movie? Yeah, when you do that, you're a weirdo, right? Because they've ingrained this in our head. It's pure brainwash, you guys, pure brainwash. And I'm not going to go into why they do that because I'll get kicked off TikTok. But you got to remember, reasonable questioning and like questioning the narrative and questioning the norm can only get you further. All right? Questioning is a good thing. So when you think about that stuff and you're seeing the kind of like reasonableness and you're like, what the heck? I can't question anything. I literally cannot ask one question without violating your gut, then what the heck? I mean, it gets wrapped up in there. So for those who haven't gone down that rabbit hole yet, have fun. You're going to enjoy it because my goodness, they want to create this certain set of facts for us. And if we don't believe it, they want us to think we are weird and shut us down. That's not good. That's not good. And when I say they, I'm not talking about we the people, you guys. I'm not talking about we the people. All right. I don't know who they is, and I'm not ever going to be one to pinpoint that down because as soon as you start going down that pinpoint who's they rabbit hole, they've got all these traps set up to disregard you and make people think that you're crazy. Doesn't matter who they is. It's not we. Definitely ain't us. They are not us because we don't think that. We are wondering what the heck they are doing. What the heck? That means something weird. All you like people that keep creating the factions. Factions are small groups that are formed in order to make people fight against themselves. Okay. All the factions. White, black, gay, straight, Chinese, Japanese. All those stupid factions they create are just so we fight among ourselves. Political, anti-political, Democrat, Republican. They want us to keep fighting, people. Stop the fighting. Stop it. We're so powerful. All right, you guys, you need to look into some of the war tactics and like The Art of War. Read The Art of War. All of our leaders have read it. Why haven't you read it? Come on, guys. Come on, guys. We're people here. We got to create this we the people. It's a movement, I think, of non-ignorant people. And I hate to say non-ignorant. It's not a derogatory term. It's a reality term. All right. Ignorance is bliss. No, no, no. Ignorance will keep you down. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, guys. We got to wake up. I'm excited. I think it's a really good time, but I really want to spread the word of waking up, and you have to do it carefully. You have to spread the word carefully because waking up in a world where community guidelines exist on every social media channel is difficult. Okay, just getting your video out in general about you like putting on makeup and crap, that's difficult enough. Try getting the truth out. Try doing a video that's all about the truth. 0 views. And it's not because people don't care. It's literally not because people don't care. It's because they hide it, you guys. They hide it. They want to hide it. They want to make it hard to find the truth. Well, you know what? They've told us that all along. It's not the widest path. The most traveled path is the path you should follow, right? It's the narrow path. The narrow path is the path to truth, you guys. They're not going to make it easy. If you want to know what I think about what's going on here, I think we came into a virtual reality game called life. That's what we're living. They create all these virtual reality games that we're playing here. Well, you know, you ever seen The Matrix? I think what we're living in is sort of similar. And here you go, trigger term. Oh, she's so crazy, right? The Matrix. Well, it might seem crazy, but for someone like me that's been woken up and not woke, that is another thing, how they trigger term that, whoa. I've been awake for a long time, not woke. That's another faction thing they created. They just all fight with each other, okay? I'm not that. I have awakened up to who I am. And once you learn who you are and like who I am, we are some powerful beings. It's so exciting and it makes me so stoked. I'm like really excited to see how we can transform this as we go along, because that's what we do, people. We came here to time to transform, and transformation, change, forced change. This is a time of change. This is a time of change, and I'm stoked about it. Now, as you navigate, I know I've got to get to some comments. I think there were some comments in here, but like as you navigate through this change thing, really rely on how you feel. How you feel is going to help you navigate where to go and what to do next. If you're scared, if you're making choices out of fear, out of fear-based choices, slow your roll. Slow your roll, okay? We should not be scared all the time. Scared and fear is the lowest vibrational frequency we can be in. Low vibrational frequencies look like this, okay? This is a very big science thing, you guys. Look up. It's under theoretical science right now, okay? Let's look this up. Get it going here. High vibrational frequencies are like this. The highest vibrate here. Good is always going to win against bad because good represents the highest frequency, bad represents the lowest frequency. Even though they're bad, the lowest frequency can only go so high. Good will always win. It's a frequency thing, okay? Good versus evil is a frequency thing. So the fear is going to keep you vibrating low. You don't want to vibrate low, okay? That's going to cause oxidative stress on your body. That does a lot of things to your body where it actually can physically start to hurt you. But don't worry. You can reverse everything you've done to yourself, because you've done everything to yourself. Just to let you know. I hate to say that to people because it's such like, I have. Yeah. You have. You've chosen everything to happen in your life. You chose it. You allowed it. Willingly. No one forced you to. And as soon as you take responsibility for that, you can change everything. And it's exciting. It's so fun, you guys. Oh my gosh. Going down the rabbit holes is hard at first, but then it's so much fun. It's so rewarding, you guys. The biggest kind of like opinion or advice I would give you is don't get stuck in any one rabbit hole for too long. Don't get stuck, okay? Especially in the apocalypse rabbit hole. Okay, we can go down that prepper rabbit hole, guys, but then we got to come back out of it and realize, what do we have to prepare for after it all happens? It's that after next step that we need to start going down now. So those of you who've been like me and been woken up for a while, that prepper rabbit hole can be a long one to go down. But remember, you keep that information vital in your head, and then you say, what can I do next? What can I do next? So those are important skills, very important skills, and that all that is coming. But it's what can I do next, okay? All right, let me get to some of these questions. So I've got, how many meals do you eat? Are you religious or just spiritual? So I am spiritual. Religion in my mind creates another one of those factions that they want us to fight against each other on. It's like, are you Baptist? Are you Mormon? Are you Catholic? You know what? Are you good or are you not? Are you on the right path or are you not? Are you striving to better yourself and striving to better those around you, or are you not? I think that the question's broader than that, and it really comes down to that fundamental vibrational frequency. Do you vibrate high or do you vibrate low? Are you striving to vibrate higher, or are you just wanting to stay mediocre where you are? I think it all comes down to personal responsibility and ensuring that you feel like a good person. You've forgiven yourself, you feel like a good person, you're doing good things. So the role of karma and how karma plays in your life and what karma even is. So once you've forgiven yourself, you can get out of that karmic cycle. I'm doing this because I don't know how far to go down this rabbit hole, but I got some hearts, so I'm going to continue on down this rabbit hole. You've got to forgive yourself first, and then you won't look to an exterior being to be forgiven by. Once you understand that inside of you is God or the universe or whatever you want to call yourself, it's inside of you. Doesn't mean that you're always on the level of God or universe, but it does mean that you have access to that level all the time, okay? And you just have to vibrate high enough to be there. So knowing that, I started off in a religion that was very strict. I actually grew up Mormon growing up, and I went through a lot with that. Now, I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. I never want you to think that I'm someone that I'm not. I don't follow religion. I don't think religion is something that is necessary, but I do and am spiritual, and I do constantly evolve myself on a spiritual level, and I'm constantly looking to better myself all the time. If you've ever heard of like the shadow self or anything like that, those are mistakes that are kind of like downfalls you have in your personality, or, you know, weaknesses that you have that are, you know, traits about you, that things that you want to change, you want to get better at. I think that it's important to focus on improving the shadow aspects of yourself throughout life rather than focusing on what religion you want to follow. So I think that if you're focusing more on improvement and improving who you are just as a person and improving and becoming more of who you want to be, I think that's really the most important thing. And so we don't get bogged down with what religion are you and all, let's start fighting about, well, my religion says this and my religion says this, but then we're fighting again. Then that's a faction. Remember those factions they always want us to be? They, not we. How about let's all be we, and let's just be good people, and those of us that are trying to be better people, then maybe we have things in common and we can talk about being better people, you know, and talking about that, and that will link us together. But I don't just want to be linked with someone just because they're my religion. I found that people that just get stuck in the religion side of it can really get stuck on just the social aspect of it rather than getting stuck on bettering themselves. And I think kind of religion, what they want us to do is get stuck on the social aspect of everything rather than delving deep within ourselves and asking ourselves what to do and figure that out, because we have a lot of truths we can find within our own selves that we have not been told about, that if we were told about more, we would be able to access quicker. But it's not, right? They never said it was going to be easy. They just said it was going to be worth it. Said it was going to be worth it. So you have to go down and do the digging and uncover and release, you guys. Uncover and release. And the more you release within yourself, and the more that you can gain confidence in yourself and in your skill set and in your talents, you guys, man, life gets so cool. Life gets so cool. We literally control this thing. It's so neat. Oh my gosh, it is so neat. It is so neat. And I would love to talk about that more, but I'm not sure if you guys are interested in that. But holy moly, we literally control our lives. And I'm getting all these hearts, so I'm going to keep going. We control every aspect of our lives, you guys. It's insane. And when we don't even realize it, most of us haven't even woken up to that. There are so many books on this. There are so many people that have talked about this. Goddard, what's his name? Neil Goddard. I think he's one that's talked about this before. Amazing books he's written. There are so many amazing books, and everything is like given to us in these allegories and stuff and parables. It's all hidden in plain sight. It's like literally a treasure hunt. Every day we wake up, it's a treasure hunt. Like the people that we talk to in life and the people that we come across, they're part of our like treasure hunt. Okay. It's weird, you guys. It is so weird. And if we don't understand it on that level and we just take it as like this simplistic, life's life, kind of, I can't wait to get to heaven one day. You're living in heaven or you're living in hell. You're creating it here and now for yourself right now. Right now. And that's what religion doesn't allow us to see, you guys. Like, heaven and hell is here. I live in heaven. I don't know where you live, but if you're here right now on this channel and like watching this, I feel like you're vibrating high and you're vibrating on like a heavenly vibration. Not that I am God, but honestly, we all are, you guys. We all have the capacity to do this and to be this. And there's so much we need to know. There's so much we need to know. And I am so happy to have an outlet like TikTok, because I've been someone who hasn't been able to express this to those people around me and like my close loved ones or anything like that. I haven't felt received by that until TikTok has allowed me to really feel received by a community of people out there and get on the same page, you guys. Like, oh my gosh, we're so powerful. We're so powerful. I'm so excited to access it. It's so neat, and it's so cool to just see our evolution as people and as a group of individuals that are figuring out, wait, what is going on here? And as we figure out, wait, what is going on here? Oh, it's awesome. So cool. I'm very excited. All right, let's see. So that was all from the question, how many meals do you eat? This could be rabbit holes, but that's kind of what I wanted to do today, was just make this video like a rabbit hole day. And I put it as Janae questions everything, because you guys, that's the story of my life. And I hope it's the story of your life, because it's a really fun life. Okay. Oh no, that was my answer to, are you religious or just spiritual? Okay, I feel a little better now. Oh, Cheyenne Wayne, I just love your soul. Oh, thank you so much. What you're doing for everyone is inspirational. I personally thank you. Thank you so much, Cheyenne. I really appreciate that. Thank you. I remember when I first woke up and I thought I was an absolute lunatic. I am not kidding, you guys. Like when you first wake up and you're first thinking all of this, you're like, whoa. Like, whoa. And it's a lot, you know? And so I didn't have anyone to really kind of guide me. Eventually, I was able to find those, and I don't mean guide because you're a self-guide. You guide yourself, you guys, okay? We're all just kind of like pathway markers, and there were people on the path who'd done it before for me, and they marked the path for me. I found them later. But as soon as I found them, I said to myself, I want to be that for somebody. Like, before I found the markers and was just like, aimlessly roaming about, you know, learning everything and coming into it, you're like, oh my gosh, a lot of crying was involved. There was a lot there. So as soon as I found somebody to be that pathway for me, it was just like, okay, all right. Who did I find? Diving deep. Beautiful souls, we're diving deep. Who is that I'm thinking of? Holy cow, maybe you guys will hit me. He was the first one that I found that made me like, okay, I don't feel so crazy right now. Diving deep, once again, beautiful, deep divers. It's called, I'll think of him. He's amazing, and I'll think of him. But he helped me, and so I always wanted to be that one to help somebody else. And so I'm so glad. Thank you so much, Shan. I really feel good about this path. And that's my same, like, herbal journey. You'll see I own Graham Fam Farm. I make handmade herbal remedies for lots of stuff, but it started off this passion to just know and do the right thing. And so I'm trying to expand that just from the herbal side, but now expand into like a life, not a life coach, but hopefully a life help, you guys. It's a life help. And it's not like I'm above you or anything like that. We are all on the same path, different, but the same. So let me explain that for a second. To go from low vibration to high vibration, we all hit these same road marks, but we do it very differently in our own way, completely unique to us. Okay. So not all of us will go through like, let's think of something really traumatic, like a death or a divorce or a fight amongst siblings. Not all of us will do that in the same way, or some sort of really bad thing that's happened to us, molestation. We will not all go through that, but we all will, the ones that are awakening, we will go through something that will trigger growth. And triggering growth, man, guys, those are the situations that suck. They're the traumatic events, okay? They're the traumatic events, the ones where we've been beaten before, okay? And done things that have made us, like, sit back and be like, whoa. Those traumatic events, we brought into our lives to wake us up. We chose those to wake us up, you guys. It's hard to hear, okay? When you get more in those, we did it to wake us up. Everyone who's ever done anything bad to me, I thank you so much, because I know that I agreed with you to do that to me so that I would learn from that lesson. I would learn a lesson from that and become a better person, become a more empathetic person, become a sweeter person, become someone that I want to be. Like the future self that Janae is, she's so awesome. I can't wait to meet her one day. She is so legit. But this self is doing a really good job too. Like where I am in my life, I'm really proud of myself. I'm really happy with what I've gone through and overcome. I'm really proud of who I am. And that's the spot you need to be in for growth to happen, you guys. It's not a cocky situation. That's another trigger term they use. Cocky, boop, right? Just stop talking about how good you are and how proud of yourself you are. Don't tell yourself you're so proud of yourself. Don't tell yourself you deserve the best in life, right? That's cocky. No, it's confidence. It's required. It's required for growth. I know how good I am. I hope you know how good you are. Okay? Be good. Know you're good. We do great things together and an individual, but especially together, you guys. Okay? And just because we're not sitting in the same room, you're not sitting over here beside me in my car, I feel that connection with you, and you should feel that connection. I hope you feel it with me and anyone else who maybe you feel inspired by or like journeying with. I hope you feel like you're journeying with me on this. That's how I want you to feel, or how I like envision for you to feel when we're talking, because some of the best books you can read as you're going through this, and I have one for you, make you feel that way. So this book called The Light on the Path, if you've never heard it, Yogi Ramacharaka, you guys. Yogi Ramacharaka, that's what's up. So they've got one book's called The Light on the Path. One of them's called Science of Breath. That's another great one by Yogi Ramacharaka, Science of Breath. Great book. So look those up. Those are great ones. And they kind of make you feel like how I've been feeling and what I want to do with this. They make you feel like you're right there with this like person that's been through all of it and is like on your side and just wants to see you succeed and like just be happy for your success, you know? And Those are the kinds of books you should read right now. If you're feeling fear, you can only overcome fear with good. Okay, you only overcome low vibration with high vibration. You're walking into a dark room. How are you going to overcome it? More dark? Bring in more negativity? No, with light. You bring a light. Of course it overcomes it. You're in a dark room, bring yourself a light. Okay? Someone's talking crap on you, tell them thanks. Smile at them. Do something nice for them. You got to overcome dark with light, and it's so much more powerful. It is so much more powerful. Don't join in on the negativity. They're low vibration. It's not very high. It's only strong to a certain point, but then like one light energy can easily overtake that. Easily. I kind of laugh when people make fun of me these days. First off, I feel like, cool, at least I'm like on your mind. Right? At least I'm on your mind. And then I think, you know what? Thank you. Because doing that has allowed me to propel myself and make sure that I don't treat anyone like that, because I know how bad like I would feel if I really cared like that. And some people really do care what others think about them. I definitely don't, because look where I am. I'm on YouTube, no makeup on, chilling in my car in a parking lot as I wait for my kid at a birthday party, okay? You got to get over that care what people think about you kind of thing in order to like expand and just boom out of your shell. All right, think about people that have made the most changes in our history, at least the ones we know about. They're always like odd and unique and so different than the norm. They're abnormal. I don't want just norm. How boring. How boring. Just mediocre and mediocrity has never been something that has appealed to me. It just hasn't. And so to get over that and become more than that, you have to know you deserve that. Do you deserve better than just mediocre? Heck yeah, you do. Heck yes, you do. And if you don't think you do, then let's get there, people. Let's get there. Let's start thinking you do. And what does that take? What does that take? Usually it's forgiveness. It's usually forgiveness of yourself. It really is. Forgiving yourself and thinking that you are awesome. Can you sit there in the mirror and like look in the mirror and be like, let me look right at myself. Hey, Janae, I'm awesome. Do that for yourself. Can you do that? Because some people can't do that. I remember not being able to do that. I remember like looking in the mirror at myself and just being like, oh gosh, that girl has made so many mistakes. Ugh. Just being like disgusted with myself. I remember being there. I know what it's like. It sucks. But it's a stage we go through to allow us to become more and realize like, no, I do deserve that. What am I talking about? I remember I was asked a question one time. Who is your role model? Who are you most proud of? Who are you so proud of and like glad and just inspired by? And I'm sitting in this room. You know, I'll be specific with it. I'll be specific and tell you what's up. I was an NFL cheerleader. I used to cheer for the Chiefs. I used to cheer for the Titans too. And we used to have these like pre-game meetings, and we'd be sitting there where it's like the pastor was there, and we're sitting in a group of a lot of the, NFL like staff and employees and stuff like that. And the cheerleaders, we got to go sit there and participate and enjoy. And we're sitting there listening, and one of the speakers said, who do you look up to, and who is like inspiring to you? And in my mind, because I was one of the only cheerleaders that wasn't like religious, I was spiritual. I was very different than the girls, and I don't mean to hate on them at all. I'm just telling you what I experienced and what happened in my life. I was spiritual, but I didn't like go to a church or anything like that. And the first thing in my mind I'm thinking is like me. I was so proud of myself at that point because I'd overcome so much in my life. I had hit ground, rock, bottom, dug myself out of that hole. Like I've done so many bad things in my life and like been really like sad about it, but you know what? They all made me who I am today, and I'm glad I went through every single one of them. So we're sitting there in this conference, and I'm thinking in my head, I'm like really proud of myself. At that point, I was a single mom. I wasn't a single mom. I have a husband, but I was attending law school. I felt really alone. I had a little kid. I had just had, how old was he at that time? 1.5, and then I just had another baby in law school. I was just feeling like very overwhelmed and very alone, and I had gone through something where I was finally really proud of myself. And like, here we go, girl. Like, let's go. I was feeling so hyped on myself. It was my first hype feeling in my life. I'd never felt like so proud of myself. And we're sitting there in this meeting, and they're like, who are you proud of? I'm thinking to myself, well, that was what the whole thing was about. It was like, be proud of you. The first answer you should have had in your head was like, you. And I remember being so stoked with myself. Like for the first time ever, I'm so proud of myself because before it was always, I was looking for it from religion or whatever and like looking for it outside of myself. But it finally came from within myself. And I'm like, let's go! I'm so proud of myself, you know? And I remember that being like a propulsion to really good self-confidence. And from there, I was able to just bloom and become like exactly who I wanted to be. I was not afraid to tell people like, I think differently about that than you do. I just don't think that that's something that I think is correct. And that was okay to me. That was my first get your head on your shoulders and really just like go for who you are. Be proud of who you are, go for who you are, and holy cow, did it lead to other really, really cool things, you guys. And I'm excited for you to have that moment if you haven't had that moment of just being like, man, I feel so different than everybody here. I know everybody here feels so differently about this, but I'm saying that I feel like this. And then you get that self-realization that you're like, I feel so good. That's so right. I'm so proud. So sorry that was like totally off topic and not where I was before. But so let me go into these, some of the comments you've had, and I hope any of this is helping. Hopefully it hits somebody out there and they're like, yay, you're helping me. If not, thanks for joining. Thanks for the hearts. I appreciate it. Okay, so some comments were filtered. Ooh, I hope they weren't bad. Sorry, guys. Okay, are you a worker on the farm or an overseer? So I made Gram Fam Farm from the ground up. I created all the products on there. I hand make all my products. All my products started off being something that me and my family used all the time. I wanted alternative. I started off with the diaper rash cream. I hated what they were putting on my little kiddo in daycare, and I was just like, no. You're not putting this on my kid. I don't know what you're going to put on him, but I'm going to figure it out. And I was looking online and I couldn't find anything natural for my little kiddo. And so I said, I'm going to figure out how to make something natural. And so I made my own natural diaper rash balm. That was well before we opened Gram Fam Farm. So I own Gram Fam Farm. Check out our website, gramfamfarm.com, GRAHAMFAMFARM.com. Check it out. It's awesome. All handmade herbal products, but I built that baby from the ground up. You know the song Oxygen by Dirty Heads? Vacation by Dirty Heads. Built this engine from the ground up. Now my hands, they ain't so greasy. That helped me get through a lot of the hard times. It was really hard to get it done, and now I feel such a relief. So all the best rewards we get out of life are after we've worked really, really hard to do them. But I work on the farm. Now we're lucky enough to hire people to do things for us, but I definitely have done it and got my hands really, really gritty. I still grow all of my own stuff in my garden, have an amazing garden. I love gardening. We're getting ready to just expand even more and start a hops grow, go into saffron, crocus flowers grow, and lots of other really cool stuff. So I'm able to just grow more and provide more of the ingredients that we use on the farm due to the expansion that we had and just kind of like following our heart kind of thing. So good question. Thanks for asking. But yeah, been there, done that. Love that. Love all of that. So I'm a worker and an overseer, I would say. I always tell my husband he's employee of the month. Okay, let's see. Have you done research papers I can access or purchase? Thank you, Aurora. Great question. So I do have, I have a minor in philosophy. I have a political science major just because I went to law school, and that's kind of like the road I took to do that. But no, I didn't go and like publish any of my own philosophical papers, but I did write something in college called what did it say? The Ignorance of the Masses Suppresses Us All. That was the title of my book. Hilarious, right? But yeah, that was the title of my book. The Ignorance of the Masses Suppresses Us All. And it was just kind of talking about how we, like, under a group think mentality, and I experienced it all the time in undergrad and in law school, but under this group think mentality, we're easily persuaded than we would be standing alone by ourselves. But the problem is that standing alone by ourselves, it's hard to get that voice, like that big enough voice to really like propel the truth, whereas group thought kind of gives us that voice, but leads us down a pathway of willy-nilly. So I don't have anything I've published yet. Eventually I'd love to publish papers and go more down that publishing side of it. But I thought that I would kind of hit up this social media, avenue, see if I can get followers in that way to really like help me spread the word and get that voice going. And then we'll see what happens on that side. I have a lot of big goals for my life, you guys, and I hope you do for yours. That's one of the things you'll start to learn when you read Neil Goddard, or just like read some of these people that have already like been there, done that. Man, it's goal setting is so important, and like understanding where you are in your life and having a real sit down conversation with yourself that's like, look, I'm here and I want to go here. So how do I do that? And then, one of the things that you'll start to learn as you listen to these people is you're supposed to envision in your mind that you're already there. I thought that I was a success in my career well before I ever was. I know I'm a boss well before I ever step into any situation. And you need to have confidence in that, just like that, in order to do anything great. You have to know that when you walk in the room, you've got an air about you and you've got a vibe and you're confident and you're going to get stuff done. And you're going to get people to listen to you because you're reasonable, you're logical, and you're trying to help. Okay? Those are some things that, for me, I've focused on that as I've come into a room and tried to change the opinion of others as we're going into it, or not even, I don't really want to go into it changing the opinion of others. I really want to go into it kind of spreading the truth. I always say I want to show people the easy way. Not the easy way, that's a lie. I want to show people the right way, because the truth is not the easy way. Going the truthful route, it's not easy. It's definitely not easy, but it is worth it, you guys. And when I started to think I want to teach people how to do it themselves, I just want to show them, the path opened up. The path, man, it just opened up. And so once you learn about flow, not fighting and just releasing and just going and giving yourself up to the flow of life, man, things start clicking. It's so exciting. All right, let's see. I got some other questions here. Thanks for the question, Aurora. Is there Aurora Borealis green? I love that. That's beautiful. Okay. Can you provide resources for your medical claims, especially regarding brain and brain development? Sure. So a lot of this comes from Ayurvedic medicine, which is what most of my stuff is going to be based on. Ayurvedic remedies, Ayurvedic medicine, and just Ayurvedic holistic living in general. I take a lot from trace minerals and metals that you're supposed to have on your day-to-day. You can look all this up yourself. There isn't one specific source I would link you to or have you look to, but you're not going to like the answer, Aurora. Maybe not, because a lot of this hasn't been peer reviewed like you would expect in our scientific community in the United States. So under a scientific peer review system, a lot of the stuff that we've looked at wouldn't be something that would fall under that. And for me, I like to look at different sources that are outside of the United States. And I also really highly value what they say in the United States, but other sources that have, like I said, been there, done that, and seen results in a way that allow more of an expansion versus more of a limitation idea, or a limited research pool, simply because they haven't confirmed it with certain groups. I'm not a fan of. So yeah, I could say I would point you to in places like Yogi Ramacharanka. There's tons of yogis out there, guys. Sayers, lots of people that have been there and experienced the great growth that can come from understanding the mindset that you need to create change. And once you understand, what's this other movie I was going to tell you about? Free Guy. Remember Free Guy? Anyone seen Free Guy or know what that movie is? So Free Guy is a lot about this, and it talks about how you can basically become who you're supposed to be, or become this, superhuman. And that's kind of what all these shows are actually meant to teach us and teach our kids and stuff. Again, they hide it in plain sight, but it shows you that if you will start to question and kind of take risks, go outside the norm, that you're going to gain rewards from that. And it's the ones that choose to take those risks that are going to get those rewards and reap those benefits. So it's pretty cool. If you listen to NF or anything at all like that, NF is great and really talks about some more self-confidence things you can do to give yourself that, higher boost of self-confidence. Okay, let's see. Hey friend, Homestyle World, good to see you. Hello, thanks for joining. I hear you focusing on emotions of the brain, not science. Is that your area of focus? So emotions of the brain are science. You can actually measure emotions well beyond your body. You have a lot of stuff going on. You have an aura that goes around you that's measurable outside of your body. Your brain waves are measurable outside your body. You can put a measuring instrument right here from Science Today, and they can measure your brain waves as they go out. So you say feelings, not really scientific. No, it's all scientific. Look into a lot of theoretical science these days, and there's tons of theoretical scientists that do have peer-reviewed papers, so I would highly recommend looking into them for you. Good luck and good health. Okay, so let's see. Sorry, just joined. I missed the question. Sorry, I actually forgot the question. Don't know where we are. User 220994163111493. But I'll get there. I'm getting better at answering questions. Are you part of a medical team, or do you practice independently? I'm an herbalist. I am not a doctor. This is not medical advice. Hopefully that helps you. Louie. I don't know. I'm 5'3". I weigh 278 pounds. I eat mostly processed food. I sleep 4 hours a night. I work 70 hours a week. Okay, so I would say with that, one of my first recommendations is I would recommend eating less, and I would recommend that you start on like a distilled water fast. Distilled water is like super important for clearing out our receptors and our synapses in our body, especially for like brain health and different things like that. So the first thing I would do is recommend a distilled water fast. It doesn't mean you can't have food, so let me just start right there. You should eat normally like you're eating, but then just drink just distilled water for 2 weeks. You can clean out a lot of that excess mucus that would be blocking things, like if you were to start an herbal remedy treatment or like a liver cleanse, which would be the second thing I would suggest for you. Is after you've done your distilled water fast, I'd highly recommend like a liver cleanse. If you're eating a lot of processed food, you're going to have a lot of stuff in your body, that blockages in your body is really what it is, but you can get rid of all of them. Don't worry, you can reverse anything that you've done to yourself, but you should start off doing the distilled water so you can allow your body, those synapses, to be cleared out so it can receive a lot of the things you're supposed to receive. So that's what I would start to do. I would also recommend that you start on an intermittent fasting idea, and start with skipping breakfast and see how you feel from there. You can also message me one-on-one. I do tons of like client stuff just for free for people, so feel free to hit me up. All right, guys, it's almost time for me to go. Let's see. If you don't get at least 1,500 calories in that day, though, it will slow down your metabolism. Not true at all. That is actually not true, Samantha. It doesn't matter if you don't get 1,500 calories a day or not. You ever seen Naked and Afraid or Alone? Ever seen any of those? That's what I tell people all the time, because they have this like, it's like a normal idea that a lot of doctors push, and they like to tell you these things that really aren't real. They just made them up. And they're like, oh yeah, if you don't get 1,500 calories a day, you're actually going to slow your metabolism and actually be fatter. Not true. Not true at all. Seen Alone or anything? They lose weight when they don't have a lot of calories. They aren't gaining weight out there. They're actually losing weight. So that's what's going on when your body doesn't get enough calories. It's going to lose weight and lose the fat. Metabolism can be improved in lots of other ways. You can do yoga. Lots of physical activity like yoga will allow you, and Tai Chi, to increase your metabolism naturally. All right, guys, I've got to go. I hope you're fantastic. Feel free to hit me up with other messages along the way, and don't forget to subscribe and like. My subscribers get all sorts of behind the scenes access. Good luck and good health, guys. Thanks for joining today. Bye-bye.